so also when we talk about consequences, I always want to make sure I bring up praise. Praise is very, very important. And again, like I said earlier, this may not be new. We all know that praise is important, but it's oftentimes what I have found and what research has found is that we as humans are, and as parents and as friends and colleagues, we're much more likely to speak up about something when it's bad. And so we typically just need to flip that. We need to flip it. We need to start saying more, and we need to start bringing up more and more positive things and praising. And research has shown throughout the years that as we age throughout life, the amount of praise we actually come into contact with significantly decreases. Significantly decreases. And praise can actually be much more effective than punishment. Because think of it like this: when you focus on positives, you get more positives. So when you're focusing on negatives or reprimands or, certain aspects, you're going to get more of that behavior. Whatever you're focusing on, you're going to get more of. So that goes for good or bad, unfortunately. But how do you give effective praise? And, we often hear good job, attaboy, nice work. Those aren't terrible, but they're not as effective as they could be. So we want to be as immediate as possible when giving consequences in general, but also praise. We want to be immediate. We also want to be behavior specific. And so what that means is you want to tell the person or the child exactly what they did that you liked and that you want to see more of as well. So, great job on your multiplication tables, amazing job sweeping the floor. It can be almost, just very specific to what they did, so they know exactly what you would like to see more of in the future. And then also your tone. So you want to have a positive affect. You want your tone to not be neutral or I sometimes tend to sound sassy sometimes when I talk. So that is something that I know I have to watch out for. So tone is very, very important in how you are presenting praise. So next we get to preference assessments. And it sounds exactly like what it is. We are just assessing what that person prefers at the time. And so a really good example of this, and that just shows an example of my changing preferences, is right now I'm severely craving chocolate, like crazy. So probably after this, I'm going to head out and I'm going to get some chocolate. But if I had just eaten, a huge candy bar or a whole thing of chocolate ice cream, my preference for chocolate might severely diminish because, I just had a ton of it. And it just shows that our preferences are changing minute to minute. And so when we're at home and we, want to try to get our kids to engage in certain activities, figuring out what is important to them is going to be very important, because that's actually going to tell you exactly what they will be motivated for to work at that point in time, whether it's chores, homework, daily routines. Figuring out what is important to them in that moment will greatly impact their effectiveness to get things done. And to do this, what you want to do is, give a couple options of toys or activities that are available to them. So again, when we go back to matching the consequences to the behavior, there's a different scales of of toys. There's different scales of activities. Like I said, Disney World, that's not always on the table. So we don't want to offer that. But you want to give 2 to 4 options and then let them choose what they want to work for.